Hello, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I am trying to take a journey. I think this journey is gonna overcharge me in a sort of way with a big asterisk on the side. I'm here at Hither Green, down in, I don't know, zone 4, zone 5, I don't even know where I am, somewhere in southeast London. It's your boy Someone Explores, and I'm gonna transport you to St. John's Station. Sorry, I'm actually in zone 3. Apologies. If you've ever travelled on a train anywhere in the world, you might have needed to travel between two different stations to change trains. I'm looking at you, King's Cross and St Pancras International. In London, this is called an out-of-station interchange, which means that when you use contactless or Oyster and you have to leave a station and walk to change trains, the journey you make will count as one continuous journey rather than two separate journeys, which basically helps you save money. This counts for journeys made by Tube, Overground, the Elizabeth Line and National Rail. There's a whole list of OSIs that you can find online in different formats. I like to use a list at oysterfares.com and do a cheeky Control F. However, one rogue day, I was outside, I was exploring. I realized that there's a station pair out there that I thought should be on the list, but it didn't seem to be. And I wanted to test it and check it out. I've started my journey here at Hither Green, because why not? It means I can tick off another station I haven't been to, and it seems like a great place to contemplate life. We're here at St John's. St John's is a small two-platform station located in between Lewisham and New Cross, and there's another station that isn't located too far away from here. Let's test if these two stations should count as an OSI. Right, St John's isn't too far from Elverson Road DLR station. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk from the big sign outside the station to Elverson Road. I'm going to time it on my phone and I'll show you how long it takes. Six minutes, 40 seconds. There's actually a train coming in right now, so we're gonna tap. I'm gonna head to West India Quay. I'm gonna get off there, go into one of the tube stations and check my balance. So I've gotten off here at Heron Keys instead of West India Quay. Heron Keys is closer to the Jubilee line, and also it allows me to go and find a ticket machine where I can see how much I've been charged. The thing is, here, Canary Wharf and West India Quay are all out of station interchanges for Canary Wharf Elizabeth line and Canary Wharf Jubilee line. There's signs everywhere. There's literally one right here next to me there. And there, making sure you tap out here. Because the thing is, yeah, you look around, yeah, the tappy things are all over the place. It's not right next to the stairs when you come down, so you have to like find them. But let's head to the Jubilee line station and see how much I've been charged. Moment of truth. Let us. So as you've seen, it's charged me with 2 separate journeys. Even though the 2 stations are a 6, 7, 8 minute walk if you're walking slow, it still charges you 2 journeys. Even though I've hit the cap, you can clearly see how there's one journey specifically and then another journey specifically which has got me to the cap. It's not like the one combined journey has got me there. The thing is, there are many OSIs out there, and I kind of want to show what it would actually look like when you use an actual OSI and it combines it into one journey. So I'm gonna transport to another place, another time in the future when I'm not needing to hurt my bank account that much. Right, I have transported myself to Oval Station, and I'm going to show you what it's like to take an actual OSI journey, and I'll show you what it looks like when I look at my Oyster history at my destination station. So I'm here at Custom House at the Excel, and I've literally just done an OSI journey, and I'm going to check on the Elizabeth line ticket machines and see how much it took from my bank account and show you what it's like to take an OSI journey. I've struggled my way here to Greenwich DLR and National Rail, and it just has me thinking, why can't St John's and Elveston Road be an OSI pair? I guess the one reason why it isn't already is because Lewisham National Rail and Lewisham DLR already are an OSI pair. So it just makes sense for people to go there to change trains. There's more trains that go into Lewisham National Rail than St John's, many more trains. And I guess the connection between Lewisham DLR and Lewisham National Rail is much shorter than St John's to Elveston Road. I think I might be one of the rare people, the weirdos that have gone from St John's to Elveston Road. Even when you try Google, City Mapper, all them websites, all them apps, they try to get you to change it to Lewisham. I think starting the video at Hither Green was a good idea because Hither Green had like 6 platforms, a lot of trains serving it. But when you get further out than Hither Green, the services are limited. Me, Elmstead Woods, it was 5 minutes for a St John's train. It was half an hour for a Lewisham train. You think I was gonna wait in the cold there for 25 extra minutes when I could have just taken the first train that comes in, gone up to St John's, did my little 6.5 minute walk, and then get to Elveston Road to arrive here at Greenwich. Times like this, in this coldness, in this wind, you see, I'm used to a Scottish cold snap. Actually, I'm not used to a cold snap. I'm lying. When it's cold, when it's rainy, you want to get on the first train. You don't want to have to wait 30 minutes for a train just so you can change and not be charged more by going to a different station. You see where I'm coming from? As I've just said, I guess TfL, Southeastern, want people to change at Lewisham. Lewisham's a bigger station, there's more facilities, there's more staff, there's toilets, you know, if you need to, I don't know, wash your hands or something, I don't know. But I will say, once again, it would be nice to have an OSI pair between Elveston Road and St John's, just to give a bit of an option. You know, 6.5 minutes, that's not too long. That's less than 10 minutes. Speaking of time, that 6.5 minutes is less than 10 minutes. And 10 minutes seems to be the general time limit that you get between OSIs. I think the one thing I haven't mentioned throughout this video is that different OSIs have different time limits. For example, if you're going from a London Underground station to the National Rail station, you get a bit more of an allowance because, I don't know, say your train's cancelled, you're waiting an extra 15 minutes before you can actually tap into the next barrier. It just gives you a bit of that flexibility. If you're going tube to tube, it makes sense. A 10-minute OSI makes sense. If you're going National Rail to National Rail, a larger OSI makes sense. If you're going tube to National Rail, that would be a larger one than a National Rail to a tube. Just check the PDF, just check the website. There's so much going on. Maybe my begging and pleading will work to add an OSI for these 2 stations. I bet out there in the depths of London, east, west, north, south, there are station pairs that haven't got an OSI that should have an OSI. If you can think of any, drop a comment and then we can do some begging and pleading together because we're trying to save money, man, cost of living crisis. Well, if you like this video, make sure you drop a like, comment, Patreon, subscribe, words. I'm just saying words. It's been your boy Someone Explores. I'll catch you in the next video. See you in a bit. I just don't want my camera to fall. I'll see you in a bit.